the signs before the bridegroom's arrival. Ezekiel spoke of a valley of dry bones, lifeless and scattered, until the breath of God brought them back. Ezekiel 37, 1-14. Welcome to Unheard Bible Tales. Today, we're diving into all the signs of the end times. For nearly 2,000 years, the Jews were scattered all over the world. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel. President Truman from the U.S. recognized the new nation on the same day. Ezekiel talked about dry bones. Ezekiel 37, 1-14. The dry bones were clothed in flesh, and the nation was reborn. This is now 77 years ago. It's 2025 as this video was created. Jesus called this the fig tree blossoming. Matthew 24, 32-34. He said, "Truly I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened." A generation, as Psalm 90:10 says, is 70 years, or perhaps 80 if given strength. Jesus explained what would happen during this generation. The sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Jesus said, "Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then all the peoples of the earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven, with power and great glory. And he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other." This is a wedding call. The groom is coming. I made a video about this also. Link is in the description area. The fig tree's leaves are now in full bloom. Israel has turned 77 years old this May of 2025. The desert of Israel has come alive. Isaiah 35:1 also had a prophecy about the Israeli desert. The wilderness and the wasteland shall be glad for them, and the desert shall rejoice and blossom as the rose. Where once there was only dust, there are now vineyards, date palms, citrus groves, a desert made green, exporting fruit to the nations. The next sign is the great Euphrates River is drying up. This could be caused by its dams, which impacted its flow and level. Revelation 16:12 foretold this, that its waters would vanish to prepare the way for the kings from the east. Today, its once mighty flow is reduced to cracked earth and shallow streams. Another prophecy has to do with the Dead Sea. Ezekiel 47:8-9 spoke of this. Waters flowing from the temple, healing the salt sea so that every living thing that moves will live. Now, sinkholes near the Dead Sea fill with fresh water. Fish are swimming where no life existed for millennia. There is, of course, the prophecy of a third temple. Rise and measure the temple of God, the altar, and those who worship there, but exclude the outer court. Do not measure it, because it has been given to the Gentiles. Revelation 11:1-2. In Jerusalem, preparations for the temple are no longer a dream. The Temple Institute has recreated every vessel, every garment, every sacred object commanded in the law. Exodus 25:8-9. Architectural plans are complete. Priests have been trained. Leaders say it could be rebuilt in just 3.5 years once the command is given. There's the preparations of the red heifer. Then a man who is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer and deposit them outside the camp in a clean place. Numbers 19:1-22. They are already in Israel. Brought in from Texas, U.S., they are kept under careful watch until the appointed time. These heifers came of age in November 2023. There were 5. One is already sacrificed. Recently, the Jews conducted a ceremony in July 2025, which involved burning one of the red heifers. According to the Jews, because they found 2 black hairs and they used it for practice. The ceremony was in Samaria, not on the Mount of Olive, so it's a preparatory step, not the full ritual. Or so they say. The Torah does not say it has to be on the Mount of Olives. And you shall give it to Eleazar the priest, and it shall be brought outside the camp, and slaughtered in his presence. Numbers 19:3. So for the first time in nearly 2,000 years, all that is needed for the purification of the temple is here. They do not need the Ark of the Covenant for the temple, but they do need the ashes of the previous heifers. There is something called the kalal. It's the container of original ashes dating back from the time of Moses. According to rabbinic writings, notably the Mishnah, specifically Parah 3:11, these ashes were preserved for all future generations. and stored in a ritually clean place. If the ashes of the heifers from the time Moses have been found, it has not been shared publicly yet. The next prophecy has to do with Nebuchadnezzar's dream. Daniel 2:41-43, head of gold, Babylon, chest of silver, Medo-Persia, belly of bronze, Greece, legs of iron, Rome, feet of iron, clay, the EU, Daniel 2:43. And as you saw the iron mixed with soft clay, so they will mix with one another in marriage, but they will not hold together, just as iron does not mix with clay. We're at iron mixed with clay feet. We see Europe, strong economic countries that are mingled with weak economies, countries now being one EU. Daniel talks about the rock that smashes the feet and breaks them in pieces. This is the day of our Lord's arrival back on earth. The next prophecy is about the gospel being preached across the globe. Jesus said, "This gospel of the kingdom will be preached in all the world as a witness to all the nations, and then the end will come." Matthew 24:14. With satellites, smartphones, and the internet, the message now reaches the ends of the earth. And Daniel 12:4 spoke of a time when travel and knowledge would increase. We live in that time. Flights across continents in hours, knowledge through the internet, and our smartphones. Artificial intelligence is processing more information in a day than entire civilizations once could. There are plenty of wars, and rumors of wars, as Jesus warned in Matthew 24:6. And there is a global economic shift toward digital control. Revelation 13:16 and 17. The EU is getting ready to enter the digital currency as we speak. And I think we can all agree there is a moral decay, and self-love has increased heavily. 2 Timothy 3:1-5. And the rise of false messiahs and false prophets. Matthew 24:24. All converge in this generation. I think we can now safely say we are at the verge of every sign the prophet spoke about. And the bridegroom is nearer than we dare to believe. Thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this content of all the end time signs, please like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications.